Hey, what's going on, traders? Trade Like Gates here with Spartan Trades, and today in this video I'm going to show you how I set up my ThinkOrSwim account. Okay, so I've been getting a ton of messages and DMs about Gates. I don't know how to use the widgets on ThinkOrSwim. I'm new to ThinkOrSwim. I don't know how to move my alerts to the side or fill the bodies of my candlesticks or move the volume on the page. I'm going to show you all of that in this breakdown video of ThinkOrSwim. Okay, so in the background you can see now this is how my ThinkOrSwim looks, and I'm going to go from the default mode as soon as we start and work my way up to building my ThinkOrSwim account to look just like this. So you can follow along. I hope that this video sheds some light on how I use ThinkOrSwim, and enjoy. Okay, so here we have the default setting on ThinkOrSwim, right? So when you create your account, this is the first thing that you're going to see. Well, let's just go ahead and start with this left side. Okay, so these are your widgets or gadgets, as they call them. You can detach and move these gadgets around. So Trader TV, this is not one that I use. So we just click here, okay, on these three buttons, delete. Watch list, I do use watch list, so I'll keep that one. Live news, I like to have live news there. I like to see my account info. You can always drop these down though if you don't want to see that. Okay, so quick chart on eyes. Don't need this either, so I'll delete that. And you can add gadgets here. So I'll just click here, and what I do like to add is it's called the message center. Okay, so what this message center does, it tells you, when you bought or sold an equity or a position, or when your alerts go off, these are where your alerts will appear. So I usually have my message center somewhere down here. My watch list will be over here on the left side, and my news up here. So something about this watch list section here I wanted to show you guys. There's this linking function here. Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. For now, we're just going to unlink it. But to create a new watch list, so right here in this little drop down menu, you can just go down to create watch list name, video, and then add in any symbols. Okay, save. And so this is now your current running watch list, and you can just add symbols in here as you go, as you feel like it. So I don't change any of these settings, but if you want to, you can just click here and go to customize, and let's say you don't want to see the ask or the bid, and just leave that on okay. One thing I do add though is volume. I like to see what's being traded with the most volume from our watch list. Okay, so sometimes if I just bring this over a little bit, so yeah, sometimes I would just sort this. You can sort by any of these, so I'll just sort by the volume. Okay, and so this will change my list according to volume. That is it for the watch list section here. So let's move on over to the charts section. This is the part that everybody wants to know about. Okay, so that link thing that we talked about on the watch list section, okay, you'll see this symbol link right here. So what you want to do is link this to red, okay, and that'll automatically link this here to red. And so that way when you click on your watch list charts, as you go through them, they will change here on your chart. So this makes for great and easy reading here. Okay, so let's talk about this chart here. This is pretty ugly. We're going to clean it up a little bit. So what you're going to do is right click right on the chart screen here, okay, and you're going to go down to Style and Settings. The first thing that I have checked here, you could see my alerts run all the way across the screen here. I don't like that. I think it interferes with my charting. The cleaner the charts, the easier they are to read. So we're going to change this to Show Arrows Only. Apply. And so now we've moved our alerts over to the right hand side. We could still see where they're set roughly, but we don't have that long line across the screen. The second thing that I like to move is this volume. Okay, so the volume down here, it doesn't bother me if it's on the chart. So I like to overlap my volume, apply. Okay, so now my volume is displayed directly on my chart here. And if I go into a smaller time frame, let me just click OK. I can go into like a 5-minute time frame. Yeah, so this just makes it a little easier to see rather than having it in a separate box down below. Okay, so going back into that same section, right click and go to Style, Settings. Let's continue to go through these tabs here. Time zone, you can select your local time zone here. This may be automatically inputted for you. Price axis, I have no change here. Okay, I leave all of these settings here at the default. Time axis, so you see how this chart runs up and runs right to the end here. I just like to have a little extra room to see, I don't know, I just feel like it makes the chart a little easier to read. So I have my expansion area here changed to 350 bars to the right. Okay, so you'll see what that does for us is gives us a nice cushion here to the right hand side. So favorite time frames. This is completely up to you. What time frames do you like to trade? My settings, I leave the 1-day 1-minute chart up. The 5-day 5-minute, I have this changed to the 20-day 3-minute. Okay. The 5-day 15-minute, I have changed to the 5-day 5-minute chart. 10-day 30-minute, I have changed to the 10-day 10-minute. 20-day 1 hour, I leave, and actually I leave the rest of these here. 180-day, 1 year, and 3 year on the weekly chart. I leave all of that. Okay, appearance. This is a big one here. So, I like the candles here filled. So what I will do is just click this box right here, fill up, and leave that just as it is. Apply. Equities. I have no changes here on the equities tab. So just leave that set there on default. Options, again, no changes here, and I don't trade futures or forex, so I leave this all as is. All right, let's talk about drawing tools. Okay, so with your mouse you can click the center button here and get these drawing tools. You double click to back out, click and hold, and use that drag button to zoom in. Okay, but I'm going to talk about these drawing tools. So trend line is exactly what it is. It's a trend line, but you can move it in you can move it in any direction here. Okay, so my settings, I just have it set on white. I like the solid trend line here, and the width is set to 1. Okay, and I just save as default and click OK. This price level, this is also a trend line. What's great about this one is that you can just double click and it'll make a horizontal line across the screen. So that way, you don't have to worry about trying to get this exactly even every time. You just grab this price level tool and click to drag. Text note, that's pretty self-explanatory. Arrows are, if you want to denote a certain point in the chart. So my settings for my arrows, I just have a directional down arrow, and the color is blue, size large, save as default, OK. Rectangle box, I like this. So if something's trading in a channel, let's say, and I want to highlight, okay, there's the channel. I like using the rectangle box every now and then. Oval, so if I just want to circle every dip on this chart, I can use the oval tool to do that. And the other one that I like to use is called Fibonacci retracements. I'm not going to go over, and Fibonacci extensions, but I'm not going to go over how to use those. That's something that you guys can look up on your own time. So studies, okay, we're just going to right click here and we're going to go down to studies and add study. There are a few that I like to use. Actually, let's go to edit studies. Okay, so there's a few that I like to use here. Again, this is totally up to you. You know, whatever studies that you or strategies that you like to use, you can go ahead and add those in. But so I personally use the MACD. And I'm not going to go over how I use these in these videos. If it's something that you're unfamiliar with, look it up on your own time. But the RSI is another one that I like to use. Okay, so we'll just hit apply. And so that brings both of those up here at the bottom of our charts. And you know, I like to see my chart, so we'll bring this down a little bit. You can just drag these here and move them down. Okay, so this is what my chart, you know, we're starting to get into how my chart is beginning to look. We're going to go back into studies though, edit studies, and I use the EMAs. Okay, so actually it's under exponential. Okay, so you type in expo and it's the moving average exponential and add selected. And I use quite a bit of these. So let's just start with there. Okay, so the default setting here is the 9 EMA. So I do use the 9 EMA. We're going to keep that there. You can click on the settings button here to the right and change the 9. I use the 21 EMA. Settings, again, we're going to change the 9 to the 200 EMA. And let's add one more. I'm going to change the settings here to the 50 EMA. Click OK. And one more is called VWAP. If you're a day trader, I'm sure you've heard of this. This is a very powerful intraday tool here. So I like to use VWAP. And the default settings are -2.0, 2.0, and day. Okay, so just going to click apply. Add those indicators to the chart. Click OK. So the default color for all of these, they're all the same color, right? So we've got to change that up here. This bottom one here is the 200 EMA. So I leave the width on all of them the same, but my setting for my 200 EMA is blue. It's like a dark blue, a navy blue or something. So apply, okay. This here is the 50 EMA. So I'll change this 50 EMA to green, and I like to change up this one to this dashed line right here. Apply. Okay. This next one is the 21 EMA, and I just have this color set to orange. Apply. Okay, and I will leave the 9 EMA here. I leave that one the default color, which is this blue color. As for the MACD, so I like to change the colors here also, just to a purple and a and I'll leave the other one this yellow color. You know, you can go in and brighten these colors up, but I don't like the default settings. You know, the lines being the same color. I don't like any of my lines really being the same color. So so that's what I have for that. If I go into the 5-minute chart here, let's talk about my VWAP settings. Okay, so VWAP, you have 3 bands here. So you have the middle VWAP, you know, which is that's the default setting just for VWAP. Then you have -2.0 and 2.0, which are these bottom and top bands. Okay, so just to kind of like differentiate these purples here that are showing up, I do leave the middle VWAP like this pinkish purple color, and I will leave the bottom one here this yellow color. As for the top though, I like to change the top band. Okay, so you have VWAP, upper band, lower band. I like to change the top band to a red. So we'll just go into more, click red. Okay, and there you have it. That's all my indicators, studies, and volume. Okay guys, so before we get too far into this, there is something that you need to know, right? You have to save these setups. So you can go into setup here, and you want to save workspace as. Okay, click that, and you can see I have a few different workspaces saved. So for options, I'm using one workspace. For reversal trades, I'm using another workspace. For my swing trades, I'm using another workspace. So you could play around with these settings and save as many custom workspaces as you want, but please make sure that you click Setup here and save workspace as. Okay, otherwise when you log out and log back in, you may have to redo all of this, which can be a pain every single time. That is it for the charts tab. For tools, education, and help, market watch, scan, analyze, I don't trade anything there, or I don't change anything there rather. Monitor, I don't change anything here either. So just under the trade tab though, I like to change a couple of things. So under the all products under trade, I leave all of this as is. Usually I'll grab my option code here from the option chain, but I do go over to this active trader tab. Okay, and so here's a couple of things that I like to change here. So again, once you save your setting under charts, you can actually load that same style here. You want it. I also need to talk about this. You also need to save your style. Okay, we set up our style earlier. But yeah, so I just like to change a few things on this active trader tab here. Okay, first thing being, click on that customize button, settings tab there, and click customize. Okay, the first thing being these default settings here. So I don't need to see the sell orders, and I don't need to see the buy orders. Okay. I really don't even need to see the volume, to be honest. But what I do like to see is my P&L on the open. So some people focus on percentage. Some people don't like to see their P&L. I'm one of those traders that do. So I'll click P&L on open, add. Okay, and I just have my volume on the left side, bid size, price, ask size, P&L on the open. And if you guys are unsure of how I use the active trader tab in combination with the all products tab, there's a link. I'll provide the link in the bio here. It's how I trade using OCO brackets. Okay, so check that video out if you want to know how exactly I trade using this active trader tab. And that's it, guys. So that's exactly how I set up my ThinkOrSwim. I hope that this video has helped you out. I know it can be a pain trying to find out all of these things individually, so I just wanted to make one video that encompasses everything on ThinkOrSwim. And that way, if you're trading based off my callouts or watch lists, or you're looking at the same indicators, trying to chart things out the way that I chart them out, you're able to use the same indicators that I do and kind of see what I see. Okay, so if this video has helped you out, hit that like and subscribe button down below so that you get notified whenever we do make new videos, and I hope to see you in chat. Have a great day.